Let's see what's going on in the news. The Ever Given ship got stuck in the Suez Canal. That was really fun. What a fuck up that was. That was great. That was so funny because it was a ginormous, huge ship, like 400 meters long, and it got stuck sideways, and everyone in the world was like, oh, what an idiot. How'd you do that? Except for people in Perth who were just like, now, maybe there's a 400 meter long booze bus ahead. Maybe. That's just to give you scale of how freakishly large this thing was.
That day, that was probably the worst day of my life.
That was right.
My pants got wet, and then I had to get in the water.
Yeah, that's bad. So stupid.
I wrote that one.
I wrote that one as well, bro. This is his Make-A-Wish. He's got 3 days. They don't know what's wrong with him, but they know it's something to do with AstraZeneca. They can't figure out. It's not blood clots, but he definitely got too many of some vaccine. What happened else? Oh, WA election. Zach Kirkup had a resounding defeat for the rest of his young Liberal cohort. Yeah, wasn't that wild? It was the most upsetting thing to happen to a Perth private school boy since the introduction of consent laws. It was found by the CIA that, yes, Vladimir Putin did order interference into the 2020 American election. At least I think he did. And then he probably saw Joe Biden try and finish a sentence and was like, he's got this. He's got it. Yeah, he's facing the wrong way. Yeah, great. That's wild. The UK strain has had some breaches in Australia, the UK strain of COVID, which is very concerning. I'd say it's probably, everyone's really afraid of English people coming here and bringing. It's probably the worst thing to come to Australia since the English, I think. I think that's probably the worst thing. Everyone's terrified of English people coming here and fucking it up, and all my Indigenous friends are just like, yeah, you get it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Reconciliation. That's great. What else is there? Oh, a study came out in America saying that breastfeeding mothers should refrain from smoking marijuana as THC can stay in breast milk for up to 6 weeks. Isn't that wild? They said they don't want you doing it, they should abstain from it, unless you want your baby to come out fucking cool. He's just lying in the cot looking up at the Babymobile being like, are the butterflies captivated by me? Like...
I think I just love the image of a little stoned baby with a little guitar trying to learn Wonderwall. It's just sitting there like, I'm a baby. Is anybody gonna come change me? 'Cause after all, I shat my overalls.
It's wild. The Pakistan embassy has celebrated 70th anniversary of 70 years of ties with China. They did this in a really bizarre way. They put on the world's biggest puppet show. This is true, the world's biggest puppet show. At least they claimed. It's like, really, Pakistan? That's a big claim, especially to say to China, you've created the world's biggest puppet show. Sorry, have you heard of Hong Kong? Spicy. Yeah, that one got real spicy. This is really funny. Shit, I can't believe this happened. There was a couple in Queensland that got into a taxi thinking it was their Uber. Sorry, got into a car thinking it was their Uber, but it wasn't. In the front seat was former PM Kevin Rudd. This is true, and what's even crazier, he took them where they needed to go. He just did. Rudd's still getting it done. Do you know what I mean? But I think that was cool, but the family was really confused because halfway through the ride, someone else jumped in and took over. That's bizarre. It's really bizarre. Buckingham Palace hired a diversity officer to root out institutional racism within the palace. And then 3 days later, Prince Philip died. So they weren't fucking around. They were not fucking around. That's crazy. Prince Philip died, and then 3 to 4 days later, they did the burial. It was honestly the quickest royal burial I've ever seen since the Prince Andrew story. That was wild. Nice. Christine Holgate, the former CEO of Australia Post, if you don't remember, there was the scandal where she got fired after buying $20,000 worth of watches, even though their executive bonuses go up to $150,000, which is nuts. She bought $20,000 worth of watches for her top-performing executives, and then she got fired by ScoMo. And so he actually went after her, and she was claiming that she was fired on sexist grounds, which I assume is the name of the gardens around Parliament. I think That's what that is. This is really cool. Any Lord of the Rings fans? Where you at? Yeah, cool. Hiding in the shadows. Smart. Don't know where high school bullies could be. No, this is cool. Lord of the Rings fan. There's going to be a separate spin-off to the original Lord of the Rings trilogy following the character Gollum. This is cool. It's going to follow his full journey from originally as a creature that everyone felt incredible empathy for and sadness for over the way it was mistreated, all the way through till we realized at the end that it was a monster of unspeakable greed on par with the original antagonist Sauron. And Hollywood insiders have confirmed that for character authenticity, it will be played by the State of Israel. I can make jokes about Israel. Some of my best friends are wrong. Sorry, that's a bit of a bummer. Sam, can you give us a light little quip just to take it back?
A drum set fell down a hill. But I said, but
That's great. That's really good. Oh, here's another one. Two Israelis walk into a bar, the bomb hospital. Okay. I know, and the project won't return my calls. That's wild. This is a stupid story. In England, a guy who was a exact doppelganger for UFC former champion Conor McGregor was arrested selling drugs, and he tried to get out of it by saying he's Conor McGregor. And it was crazy because he actually had the cops fooled. He was drinking at the bar and he had the cops fooled, but in true Conor McGregor fashion, they figured out that he lost his accent, and typical Conor, he lost it after 3 rounds. But there's like one Scottish guy. Yeah. No, he is a piece of shit. I don't know. What was after that one? Oh, yeah. This is crazy. In America, a gender reveal stunt went wrong when they originally had a plane going across to reveal the gender of the baby, and the plane crashed. Isn't that wild? Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Trust me, it gets funny. It's terrible. But I just can't help but thinking, where were the parents? I hope they weren't on the plane. Otherwise, everyone watching below was just like, oh, wow, it's going to be an orphan. And finally, White Lives Matter rallies were organized around the world, but they actually completely failed. No one turned up, especially in Australia. There was no one to go to these White Lives Matter rallies. But I see what happened. Unfortunately, they actually put them on the same day as an Eagles match, and they can't be in 2 places at once.